I started my journey towards healthier hair back in September of 2018, so it's been almost 2.5 years now. And for a while, I had actually wanted to embrace my curly hair a lot more. I knew it had some curly potential, but I didn't know how to bring it out. I had just bought a curling iron for the very first time because I really just wanted to encourage the curls in my hair to pop out. I really wanted to start wearing my hair curly, but I just had no idea how to go about it. Now, this isn't going to be a curly journey video, but I felt this was important to mention because I wanted to talk about a lot of the questions that we have when we start this journey. I know for myself and probably for a lot of people, it can be very overwhelming for something like this. There are so many different things to know, a lot of things to take into consideration. A lot of us didn't necessarily grow up with this information, so it's all new to us. There are a lot of things that I'm still learning to this day about wearing my hair curly, but in this video today, I wanted to go over my 5 main things, my 5 big questions that I had when I started this journey. These are 5 questions that I feel like at least some of them aren't really talked about as much. I know there's a lot of other questions, things like, how do I get started? What kind of products do I use? Should I be using this ingredient or this ingredient? What techniques? There's a lot of those kind of questions. Those aren't the questions I'm going to be answering today. These are going to be questions that are less commonly asked. That being said, let's go ahead and get started. Hello, all my wonderful wavies and my curly and coily coterie. If you are new to my channel, my name is Lena and welcome to my bathroom. Number 1, am I losing more hair? The answer to this question is probably not. I know a lot of people, myself included, wondered this when they first started their journey, or I've actually had people tell me straight up, I started this curly girl method and it caused me to lose more hair. There's several things that you're probably going to want to take into consideration if you think you are losing more hair than normal. The first being, when a lot of us start on this curly hair journey or this healthy hair journey, whatever you want to call it, we stop brushing our hair as much and we transition to finger detangling in the shower. Now, if you're finger detangling in the shower, you're getting it all out at once. A few more things to keep in mind as well is the products that we're using. If you have just started your curly journey and you're introducing things like gel and mousse into your routine, those products are actually holding onto your strands of hair and they're keeping them locked in place so that when you wash your hair, they're all coming out at once. If you didn't have any product in your hair, they would kind of just shed willy-nilly on your clothes, in the car, wherever you're going, they'd fall on the ground. But the products themselves are locking them in place, and because we aren't brushing it as often, they're just staying there. They are locked in your hair. And especially if we have texture to our hair, if you're wearing your hair more wavy and curly now, the actual waves and curls are also trapping your strands of hair. It is very normal for everybody to lose 100 to 200 plus strands of hair every single day. It's a lot of hair. Me personally, when I wash my hair once to twice a week. But for the most part, the actual ball of hair I get is a pretty decent sized ball. And that's extremely normal. My hair has almost always given me that much hair. That being said, if you do go through this process and you do seriously feel like you're losing too much hair, it's probably time to call a doctor and talk to them. There's a few things you can take into consideration first, one of which is the ingredients in your products. If there are ingredients that you might be allergic to, you could just try switching out your products and see if that fixes the issue. The other thing that you're going to want to take into consideration is if you have changed anything in your routine that might be causing more damage to your hair. So maybe you're kind of like I was and you didn't blow dry your hair before starting this journey and now you're blow drying it more. Or maybe it's already damaged and it's just breaking a lot more. Those are things you're going to want to take into consideration. But that being said, if those things aren't the issue, definitely call a doctor. Part of the reason that I actually have found I like this technique and I like doing my hair this way is because it lets me know how much hair is falling out of my head. Because I finger detangle in the shower only once a week or twice a week, I know how much shedding I have. But I found out about 1.5 years ago that I have hypothyroidism. And the reason I found that out was because I had been finger detangling so much in the shower that I knew how much hair was falling out of my head. And when I started to notice that I was losing more hair than normal, I opens that discussion with my doctor and found out that after doing some blood tests, I did have hypothyroidism that would need to be controlled with medication. So if you do feel like you are losing more hair than you used to and you are concerned about it, call your doctor. Question number 2. Should I shampoo my hair twice? I know it seems like kind of a silly question, but it's one that I've kind of wrestled with on and off for quite some time now. A lot of shampoo bottles actually suggest that you wash, rinse, and then you repeat it. Now, after a lot of thought, I think it really depends. This is something that's very personal, and it depends on a few different things. One of which is, how often do you wash your hair? For me, when I only wash my hair once a week, I definitely need to shampoo it twice because there's no other way I can get all of the buildup and oils out of my hair. Not only that, but we have to consider all of the products we're putting in our hair. If you're using products that are causing more buildup, you may want to wash it twice just to be sure you get rid of all of that buildup. And then the last thing you want to ask yourself is, what kind of shampoo am I using? I know it seems kind of like a silly question, but what I mean by this is how strong of a cleanser is in your shampoo. If you are still using sulfates, you probably don't need to do it twice because that is a very strong cleanser. But if you're using much gentler cleansers or you're even just going with a co-wash, you may have to do it a few times to really ensure that you get rid of all of that buildup. Either that or you really just need to make sure you're clarifying pretty frequently. The last thing I want to say on this is just the best way to know if you need to wash your hair twice is partially just know your shampoo. If you're not getting a lather on the first time you wash your hair and you typically get a good lather with that shampoo, you probably need to do it again because if it's not lathering as well, it's not cleaning as well. So we want to do it twice just to make sure we're getting all of the buildup out. Question number 3. What kind of products do I really need to use? I know there are so many different products out there for curly hair. You have leave-ins, creams, butters, gels, mousses, all of those kind of things. Now, I don't want to go into too much detail on this because I do have other videos on this as well, as it's just a pretty big topic. But today I want to very specifically focus on what is the difference between a leave-in conditioner and a curl cream. And I want to talk a little bit about gels and how scary they are. So starting off, let's talk about leave-in conditioners versus curl creams. What is the difference between the two? Do I need both of them? So the difference is that a leave-in conditioner's main purpose is to give you moisture, as opposed to a curl cream, which sure can give you moisture, but the main purpose of a curl cream is to help clump your curls and help define them, really make them stand out a lot more. So a leave-in conditioner is not going to do that as much. Now, as for the question, do you need both of them? No. In fact, if you're just barely starting your journey, I would suggest just using one of the two, either leave-in or a curl cream. You can experiment later on once you're more comfortable and confident with your routine, but you do not need both. Now, on to gels. Now, the reason that I bring this up is because when I first started my journey, when I was told you should start putting hair gel in your hair, my first response was, I remember people putting gel in their hair back in the 90s and thousands, and it looked awful. They had crispy, crunchy, noodly hair. Why would I want that? Looking back, my concern was definitely a little extreme for a few different reasons, one of which is that not all gels actually cause a cast on your hair. They don't all make your hair crunchy. They don't all make your hair crispy. That being said, even the ones that do can be very easy to just scrunch your hair and break that cast, and you still get the hold out of that gel, but you're not getting that crispy, crunchy look. Your hair still looks soft. It's not gonna look plasticky. It just looks healthy and shiny. And that's what that gel does for you. It gives you that hold, it gives you that shine, and it makes your style last longer. And its big purpose is it's really just going to help decrease the frizz. That being said, if it is still very overwhelming to you, the concept of putting hair gel in your hair, I would just suggest starting off with a mousse. Mousses aren't going to hold the style quite as long as a gel. They're not quite as hard of a hold, but they are still a hold product that is going to help your style last, reduce frizz, and it's not going to give you as much of a cast. Number 4, do I need to use products from the same line? So in other words, do I need to use nothing but Not Your Mother Curl Talk line to get healthy hair? The answer, the simple one, is no. You do not have to use all products from the same line. There is the benefit of doing this because they are made to go together. There's not going to be a negative reaction to any of them, and they're going to complement each other very well. That being said, I know especially for me when I started this journey, I wanted to be able to pick and choose my products based a little bit more actually on price. It is okay to do that. It is okay to pick and choose products from different lines, from different companies. And I would actually argue that there's a lot of benefits to this. To some degree, just the fun of it. You get to experiment, you get to try new things. Not only that, but to some degree, we don't really know our hair very well at the beginning of our journey. And we don't know how products are going to react with them. So by trying different products at the beginning of your journey, you can find out what it is your hair needs. Does it need protein? Does it need more moisture, less protein? Things like that. Not only that, but I have actually talked to people and heard stories about people who have used a product religiously for an extended period of time, and it works and it works and it works and it works, and then suddenly it doesn't. And to some degree, especially if this product has worked so long, you question yourself a lot more. You start to wonder, is it something I'm doing to my hair? As opposed to if you were swinging through products a lot more, you wouldn't have as much doubt. You would know this just doesn't work for my hair. Not only that, but sometimes products just stop working for our hair. There are a lot of different reasons that a product might stop working for you. And if you want more information on that, let me know in the comments below and I can make that video. That would be my take on that one is yes, you can switch between them. It depends on what you specifically want. Are you looking for experimentation or price? Or are you just looking for the ease? Question number 5, and this is the last question, as well as one that for me was kind of the biggest deal and might be the most debated. Do I have to use expensive products to have healthy hair? The answer is no. You do not have to spend a ton of money on your products to have beautiful, shiny, healthy, frizz-free defined curly hair. You can use drugstore products. I've done several different reviews on drugstore products and all of them have shown me really good results. Not only that, but I actually didn't even use any relatively expensive products until last August. So August of 2020 was the first time I bought anything expensive. And I'm not saying that expensive products aren't good. There are definitely some benefits of expensive products over drugstore products. Some of which are going to be they just have better quality ingredients and they're going to be more natural. So if that is something you are concerned about, is the chemicals in your products or how natural they are, you probably are going to have to go to the more expensive products for things that are more natural. But that being said, you do not need to spend a ton of money on products to have healthy hair. You just need to know what kind of ingredients to look for and avoid in order to encourage the health of your hair. And I do have several videos on that as well, if that is something that you are struggling with, and if there's something specific you are struggling with it in this specific category, let me know. I will answer any questions that I can. But I would suggest definitely at the beginning of your journey, just starting with drugstore products, and even throughout your journey, if you just can't afford the expensive products, you don't have to use them to have healthy hair. They have their benefits, but they are not necessary for everybody. Hopefully I answered some questions that you had when you started your journey as well, or questions that you have currently, whether or not you've been going on your journey for a while or you're just starting out. If I did not answer some questions that you had when you first started your journey, or you still have to this day, let me know in the comments below and I will see if I can get to them. If you like content like this about healthy hair and curly hair and anything like that, like and subscribe. I do product reviews as well, so if you're struggling to find which products to use for your hair, keep an eye out for those too. If you're curious about the products I used in my hair today, I will leave the links down in the descriptions below so you can look into those as well. Other than that, I will see you next time.